do a backflip. Trip as I'm sipping, get a good grip. We're talking life, strife, and think about the good times. When you fall from home, it can be non-stop. Or crack another can and let the bumping beat drop. At the Great Wall of China or a bus stop, grab a can, curb, and think about the good times. Can on
Oh, there we go. Welcome to
Another can on the curb.
another
Can on the curb.
Can on the curb, boy.
We've got Duncan behind the PC doing his business.
Utmost best.
We got me, Teensy. We got my lovely wife, Denise. And we got Duncan's beautiful wife, Kat, the camera lady.
And we've got the actual cats as well.
The
We got the actual
cat.
cats.
Yeah,
He'll be on camera just in a
boy.
minute.
He'll pop in sometime.
All right, Denise, you had a story to start us off. Please.
Yeah. So I don't know if it was just my twisted sense of humor that made me find this humorous, but our school had the sports day yesterday and today. And today was like the teachers' relay race in the afternoon and like a jump rope skipping competition for the teachers. And then the last thing was the tug of war for grade 8s and grade 9. So not all the classes have equal amounts of students. So they asked some of the teachers to kind of chip in.
All the gaps.
Yeah. So then this one Chinese teacher, he was at the back of the line. And when they started the whole tug of war thing, I could just see things are going to go sideways. And as the other class on the other side was like pulling, this teacher's foot slipped out from underneath him and he landed solid on his bum. And instead of letting go of the rope, he kept hanging on to it. And he was literally like skidding across the track, like bouncing on his bum. And he was like hanging back like that in his
Everyone's
head.
still pulling.
Oh my gosh, it was the absolute best moment of the whole day. It was,
You gotta have moments like that.
yeah, it kind of made sitting in the sun worthwhile, like just to see that moment. It was,
What I'm kind of imagining is like when a dog scrapes his bum on your carpet, bro. And he's just there holding the tug of war thing, right? Good like that.
it was kind of like that, but he was also kind of hanging back with his head. So you could he was literally, imagine throwing a pebble onto the water, like that skipping motion.
Yeah.
He was literally doing
Doing,
that
doing, doing, doing.
on the track.
So you must have been going.
Yeah, and the boys are big in like
Yeah.
grade 9, so they were really going at it. They were pulling,
Yeah.
and he was just like skipping along the track on his bum.
Fantastic.
It was amazing.
Fantastic.
It was really good. And I think it, you know, the kid that's always hugging and touching your face and everything, I think it was actually his dad.
Beautiful.
Oh, God.
Even better. Even better.
So that's the highlight of your week,
Yeah,
and you missed it.
I missed it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Inconvenient
So
flu.
you weren't at the sports day?
Nah, sick. That's the thing about China, right? Like, you gotta accept if you come over here, you're gonna get sick.
Yeah.
I must say, China for me has actually been the healthiest I've been. Like, when I went to Korea, well, to be fair, I was sick going into Korea, trying my best to be healthy, but already had flu going there. And my God, we arrived during, it was March, and everyone tells you how this is the yellow season because of the dust. And you're thinking like, okay, yellow dust, yellow dust. How bad can it be?
Yeah.
It literally is yellow dust because it rained and you just see this yellow dust all over the floor.
What is that?
They say it's from the Mongolian desert that blows over and comes into Korea. That's what they told us anyway. But yeah, you can see it when the air is
look at
bad.
that.
It is bad, and they have like signs up everywhere saying, "Don't go outside today. Wear your masks." Like, this is critical pollution time.
Yikes.
And I was so sick, and it was also like springtime, so there's also a lot of pollen in the air. So bad air, yellow dust, pollen. I couldn't beat it for like months, and then finally got healthy again. Wasn't too bad, and then I think a few months later, I also got hit with bronchitis, like in autumn. So it was like spring, okay, summer, not too bad, and then autumn came and got bronchitis, and just also couldn't kick it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I went to the doctor, antibiotics, nothing. Went to the doctor again, more antibiotics, nothing. Still just coughing. I remember I even had this lump in my neck.
Good
Oh my
And
Lord.
I was like,
Probably a gland or something.
yeah, I was like, this is very concerning. And when I asked the doctor, they were like, you've been coughing so much that it's like
Yeah.
the lymph is kind of just like
Pops.
swollen.
Mm.
Yeah, it's just like this hard ball in your neck now. And I
Jeez.
was like,
That's
oh my
hectic,
God.
eh?
So thank God our boss there was married to a herbal doctor, medicinal
Yeah.
herbal guy. And he was like, I'm going to take you to a Chinese clinic. I don't work there,
In Korea.
but I know it. Yeah. So he drives me little road trip with my Korean boss's husband. He speaks like barely any English,
Oh,
just
no.
enough.
Mm.
Dr. Shin, what a legend.
What a legend.
Shout out Dr. Shin. And we're driving literally along the border. So I'm like looking at these fences and barbed wire, and I'm like, is that North Korea? And he's like, yeah, that's North Korea, just over that little river there.
Oh my
You can kind of
gosh.
see some village vibes along the river. And then, yeah, we went to this Chinese clinic. They put the infrared on me, some acupuncture, gave me the nastiest shit ever to drink. And I swear, in literally 2 days, I was healed.
I believe in that homeopathic.
Yeah.
What?
I
I've
love
been
that kind of
coughing
stuff.
and dying for
Yeah.
3 months. And this sorted me out in 2 days.
Mm.
Where was that lump on your neck, bro? Was it like under
It
your
was
ear?
Yeah,
Oh, that's
under
an
my ear
endemic
was a
goiter
lymph-
you
Oh
got
yeah,
going.
that is
It
definitely
was
like a
that,
lymph node.
Yeah, it was pretty much
Whoa.
like that. So that was heavy. And then, yeah, Vietnam also showed me flames when it came to being sick.
That's just because they burnt the trash on the side of the road.
The
Yeah,
thing
probably
is,
a lot of pollution.
we got some other kind of stomach bugs in Vietnam and flu.
I can imagine the stomach bugs.
This was a story. So we were there in Vietnam for New Year's. And we were like, we really tried to get New Year's Eve off. And they were like, no, everyone wants New Year's Eve off. You're not getting that day off.
So they don't give it over there.
Not New Year's Eve, you'll get
Oh,
New Year's
okay.
Day. So we work at night, but we were supposed to finish at, I think, like 6 or 7:30 at night. So I was like, okay, cool. I'm going to book our flights for the first flight that's available after we finish work, which I think was 9:00. So we're all excited, ready to go. We're going to fly down to Ho Chi Minh City, Saigon, and go there for New Year's. We will arrive at the hotel around 11. We'll make it to all the celebrations by 12. Cool. We packed, we're ready to go. And then we get a message saying the flight's been delayed.
Mm.
So now your flight's at 10:00. So we're like, okay,
Can still make it.
we can still make it, maybe we'll be flying in as fireworks are going off, which could also be cool. We'll kind of get a
I reckon.
aerial view of fireworks going off, and we'll still be able to join the party. So we're like, cool, whatever. We're sitting, we're waiting. They message us again. It's been delayed again. Now the flight's going to leave at 1 a.m.
I had an experience like that recently.
So we messaged our hotel to say, hey, our flight's been delayed, and now we're only going to pull in around 1. And we get a response being like, what are you talking about? Who are you? What booking? What hotel?
Oh my
Call for
goodness.
anxiety.
And we like, I'm sorry, what?
Mm.
We booked on this website. Here's our booking. And they were like, well, we haven't rented out this place in years. I don't know how you managed to book that, but
Doesn't exist.
it doesn't exist. There's no place. You can't go there.
Oh my goodness.
So we like, what? What?
oh.
So now we're sitting there panicking. We're like, we've literally missed the countdown for New Year's. We're going to arrive and have absolutely nowhere to go. It's New Year's. Everywhere's full. Everywhere's booked. So eventually we were like, you know what? Let's cut our losses. We're not going. Let's just go join a party around here. We'll message our friends, say what's happening, go and join some people, and try and get a refund for the return flight, which luckily we did. And we did get refunded for the hotel. But the next day, I got the most horrendous flu. And I spent the next 2 weeks like absolutely man down.
Oh my gosh.
And I think we had taken leave after that. So we were going to spend New Year's and then have leave. And I just spent the whole holiday like absolutely dying on the couch. So sick. And then afterwards, people were like, yeah, influenza B is going around. So I was like, that was gnarly. But also, kind of glad that I wasn't
On holiday.
on holiday in Saigon going through this.
Were we still in Hanoi when that happened?
We were in Haiphong.
In Haiphong. Yeah.
I actually hit a luck this week. I got, I would say, the first, what I would call, decent doctor
Oh, okay.
in Shenzhen thus far. Yeah, at that Hong Kong University Hospital.
What kind of doctor? Like
Just a GP. But like I went in, she did a full like physical. They usually do like the chest, the ears, which already for me was fantastic because that's, I think, probably the second time in 7 years that a doctor's done that in Shenzhen. And then after that, she just kind of did this whole investigation, this medical investigation. And I liked her deductive reasoning, I can almost call it. Like she was analyzing what's wrong with me. And then she ended up like putting pressure on my sinuses and she squeezed me so hot the snot came out my nose, to be honest. It was like a toothpaste tube.
But relief, I'm sure.
It was painful. But you know, these Chinese ladies, some of them got the grip strength. So she gripped my butt around me and she just put pressure.
Squeezed.
And then the snot came out and she said, I think you've got bad allergies. I'm like, yes, I do. And then she actually, like, the English was so good, she used this. She said, it exacerbates.
Exasperates.
Exacerbates.
3 different answers.
Makes it worse.
Yeah.
Your symptoms when you have the flu or whatever.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, yeah, that makes sense to me. And then I felt like I had to give her compliments. I was like, okay, so I think you're a really good doctor because like you did this and this, and I spoke to her and she's like, oh, you should make me a family doctor. And I went like this. I said, done. And then she said, no, it's not. You need to scan this thing and whatever. She gave me a little card. And then she said, in the future, we could just, like, if we scan it and we join her group, like she's a house doctor, we don't need to make an appointment with the hospital.
She'll come to the house.
No, not like that.
Like, that would be nice.
We can directly make an appointment with her and then we can tell her what we think is wrong and she can give us like a package that includes medications or whatever.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Get away a little bit cheaper and just I like the way like she had a methodical approach. She didn't just sit behind the PC, that normal thing, and had like WebMD diagnosed my issues.
Fair enough. Yeah.
Because my general feeling is I walk into the hospital over here and I know what's wrong with me better than the doctor knows. I really do. Yeah, I'm usually like, you haven't had that experience?
Well, I must
Maybe
say,
you haven't been here long enough. But
recently, when I was sick, I went to see a GP, and it's annoying because I would never see a GP or a doctor for a cold. Like, I don't need to. I know what's wrong. I have a cold.
In our country,
I need to sleep. I need to rest. I need to drink hot
but over
water.
here, you need that
whatever.
doctor's note.
But I need the doctor's note because I took time off work. Exactly. So I went in to see the doctor, and also I can't take any medicine. So what am I supposed to do? So I go in and I see her and she's like, you're going to do some blood tests. And I'm like,
for a cold?
Why?
I've been sent for an MRI with a cold.
Yeah, I was like, that seems a little bit drastic. And literally it was like emergency blood test on the thing. And I go, and I mean, they were extremely fast. 20 minutes, they were like, bang, here's your blood test results. Here's proof that there is
a flu,
an infection.
Yeah, and she was like, good luck, you don't have the bubonic plague.
Yeah, it's like you're fighting an infection. She's like, upper respiratory infection. I'm like,
I know.
Cold. I know. And yeah, so I was like, that was a bit odd. But she was very nice. She spoke English. She was like, you can come back after the lunch break. Just come and wait here. Don't make an appointment or anything. I'll just see you myself. They gave me some Chinese stuff to drink. But generally, I was like, I don't really need anything.
Yeah, I just need the note. Yeah, that's
I just
it.
need to tell
Yep.
my work
Yep.
that you still need to pay me because I am actually sick.
Yeah.
Yeah, so like this doctor, I told her like there's a sports day today and tomorrow, so it's not necessary for me to be there. So I felt like instead of being in the sun running around with the kids, and my voice was like messed up. It's still pretty, you can hear. And then I told her like I think it's just better for me to stay at home. She's like, yeah, I agree. So should I give you a doctor's note for? I said for today and tomorrow. She's like, oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, we
So
need
I
to
like-
get that
I
family
like that.
doctor.
Just logic, you know.
Mhm.
But like I say, I've gone in with bronchitis. To be fair, I had a pretty prominent wheeze,
Mm.
but it's nothing. I've had this plenty of times in my life. It's bronchitis.
Yeah.
They sent me for an MRI. They sent me.
Oh yeah, you
X-rays.
had to do like this breath test thing
How
where you had
many-
to like blow and suck
like an
and
asthma test.
And I'm
Yeah.
like,
I've done those for asthma.
I've got bronchitis. And at the end of this whole thing, they were like, guess what? You've got bronchitis. I'm like, okay. Wow.
You don't
Revelation. Yeah.
There was one time though when I went to the hospital for what I thought was a cold, and then I came back with the mycoplasma pneumonia thing.
Yeah, fair enough.
So that was like,
It was within season.
yeah, it was because like all the kids at school were going around.
Over here,
with that.
mycoplasm is almost like spring.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
It
so
just comes.
you
Like 4 months of the year, you just get like when Lisa just came to China. I said
Oh, yeah.
you got to go for the
pneumonia
pneumonia
test.
test. And she's like, no, it's not. I'm like, no, it's not the pneumonia. You think of like you get bronchitis and then it gets worse and it becomes pneumonia. Like you literally the bacteria is you and you touch something and then you've got
Yeah.
pneumonia.
Especially
Yeah.
when you work in kindergartens, like during that specific
Yeah.
season, it's so easy to get it. And it feels kind of like the beginning of the flu, but
Yeah.
it just never ends. Like
Yeah.
you literally
Carries on
struggle
for
for
3 months.
months to get rid of it, even with antibiotics and everything else.
It needs a very
it
specific
just
antibiotic,
sticks.
I think.
Yeah, it says it sticks for 1 to 3 weeks after contact with the bacteria, and it can include all of these
And like
symptoms.
the cough can last for months after that. Like
That's
even
the
if
thing.
you
feel better,
cleared
but
up,
the cough is
yeah,
lingering.
it's still there.
Yeah.
But you can get that. It's not chronic. What's the chronic is the long
Chronic, yeah,
acute. Is it
Chronic,
acute or
chronic
chronic?
is long.
Chronic
Yeah, you
is
can
long.
you can get a chronic.
Mm. I also had a pretty crazy experience in Vietnam where I kept feeling like I have a UTI, like a bladder infection. So I made an appointment to see a urologist because I did the urine test, and they're like, "There's no bacteria in your urine. There's no infection." I'm like, "But there is a
Something's
problem."
wrong.
Yeah.
So I need to see someone because this is not normal. Like, it's painful, it's burning, it's sore. Like, I have no control. Like, I just need to pee all the time.
Mm.
So I go and see this urologist, and they do an ultrasound, and they're like, "Yeah, your bladder's inflamed."
Jeez.
And I'm
Your
like,
blood is inflamed.
"Your
Bladder.
Oh, your bladder. I
They're
just
like-
thought, how does it?
Your bladder is inflamed. We can see that the wall is thicker than it should be. So, okay, so what's the diagnosis? What's the issue?" And they're like, "No, you just have an overactive bladder." I'm like,
What?
how does that work? Because an overactive bladder, and I've done my own research, but an overactive bladder is like you just pee a lot all the time and have very little control. That is only a small part of the problem,
That's your life.
right?
Oh yeah, that's me all the time.
Like, that's not got nothing to do with the pain that I'm feeling and the fact that it's swollen, and like they're like, "No, trust us. It's an overactive
Trust the
bladder.
process.
We know, and we're going to put you on this, and you're going to have to be on this for the rest of your life now.
Jeez.
This is just chronic medication."
That escalated quickly.
right?
Yo,
That
dude.
What
will just-
What medication? Can you remember what it was?
can't remember the name of it, but this is where it
Was it
gets interesting.
DDAVP, perhaps? Like an acronym?
Desmopressin
think so, but-
acetate.
Anyway, I couldn't even find this medication at a normal pharmacy.
Oh, it
I
might
had
be
to
that.
hire someone to help me find it. Thank God in Hanoi, there's this amazing service where you can ask them for anything you're looking for, and they'll find it for you and they'll bring it. So they helped me find it, and they went to many different places and eventually found it. Brought me a huge supply, so it cost a fortune. Months and months of this stuff. And I get it, and of course I'm going to research what it is. I'm going to look at the the leaflet inside, and it
This is going to
says,
be interesting.
this is medication for prostate.
There we go.
And none of this applies to women, because this is only for men and their prostate.
Gross incompetence.
And I'm like, I'm sorry, what? That suggest it can be used for bladder problems, but there's been no tests done on women. There's no FDA approval for women. There's nothing about the risks and whatever for women. It's purely been designed for men and prostate issues. So I'm like, I don't want to take this
I don't have a penis.
for the rest of my life. So I was like, okay, I've just spent a shit ton of money on this, but you know what? Cut my losses, not going to take it.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, give
Just
it to
gonna
Duncan.
try and deal with this the
Didn't have a healthy
natural way. No
Yeah.
more caffeine, no more alcohol, no more like try and cut down sugar, just drink so much water, be
Yeast as well.
healthy, like take probiotics, the whole spiel, and eventually it did just sort itself out.
I had a thing like that in South Africa. Well,
Yeah, he was
I
so-
thought my ding dong was going to fall off.
He was so scared to go to the doctor because he was scared of the whole prostate exam thing.
Yeah, and then we walked into
I
the
would also
doctor's
be
office,
scared.
and I'm like, okay, I hope, if anything, let it be a man. And out walk this Betty of a doctor, like she
Like
is
this
fine.
young hottie.
Yeah. And I'm telling him, he's like, she's not putting her finger up my bum.
It's going deep inside you.
Oh.
But then what was it? I can't even remember what it was.
Well, get to the main point. Did she finger your bum or not,
No.
Martin?
She didn't.
She did not finger my bum.
She said it isn't necessary anymore. They send you for blood tests for those kind of things.
Okay.
Oh, in China, they would have fingered my bum.
Oh, dude.
100%.
There's some kind of spasm in his bladder or something, like because she gave him Urispas. I don't know if you know that. So it's
Of
literally
course.
like a relaxant for your bladder.
But like I couldn't even walk properly. Like my whole groin was just in a spasm.
So
basically.
and she also gave him like these really strong muscle relaxants and stuff, because somewhere it was either a nerve that was pinching or something like
those
that.
muscle relaxers were beautiful. I pissed myself at a point.
These blue
Fantastic.
tablets are what I took.
But Yuri's baz.
No, it wasn't Urispas.
Oh, I know the divots,
Yes,
the blue ones.
yes.
Oh,
And it makes you
I've
piss
used
blue.
that. It's fantastic.
It makes
I
you
love
literally
that.
piss blue. And
He
it
was
helps.
Because I
so
get water
shocked.
retention.
Yeah, that actually helps.
The first time I gave it to him, I forgot to mention that it will
It was
make
over
you
here at
pee blue.
MKS.
And
Yeah,
I
that
gave
sounds wild.
I gave it to him, and then when he went to the bathroom
Oh,
for
was it
the
in South
first,
Africa?
no, it was here.
Yeah, yeah.
And when he went to the bathroom for the first time after drinking the tabs, he
Oh,
came out
God.
there with these big eyes, like, I'm peeing blue. I'm like, yeah, that's fine.
I never
it's
knew
just
I
the
had so much
pills.
piss in me. I think I pissed out some of my blood or something. I felt drained
Yeah.
afterwards, but I felt way better.
Also, what's amazing about Vietnam is most of the time you don't even need a prescription. So this kind of thing in most countries you would need a prescription, but
Mm.
Vietnam you just show them a picture. You go to the pharmacy like, I want this,
I need this,
and they're
yeah.
like, okay,
There you go.
yeah.
go.
Even antibiotics, they're like, sure.
Yeah,
there you
but
go.
like when we just entered China, it was
Wow.
the same here with the antibiotics. It was only like
Yeah.
2 years after, like what, 2019-ish, where they started asking you
Getting
for a
strict.
prescription. Yeah.
It's wild.
No, after COVID, literally.
Yeah, and after COVID, even pain pills.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
just getting
ibuprofen. you couldn't get it.
Ibuprofen, it was
Impossible.
a nightmare to get ibuprofen.
Mm.
They
That's
had
why
this
I
whole
came prepared.
questionnaire of stuff they ask you for before you can actually
Supposedly
just get some pain
ibuprofen
pills.
kills you or something. I don't know.
Even with Duncan being in hospital with his ankle, they were like, it's quite a process to get you painkillers. So if you need more, it's going to take about 3 hours for us to put it in an application,
Mm.
get someone to review it, get it processed, and get it to you. So we'll get you more, but you have to wait a while.
Yeah, they're not keen on painkillers.
What is that thing that was in my drip? What was that? The painkiller that was in my drip.
I mean, it's probably morphine.
Yeah, it was morphine. That's the one. Yeah, I mean the morphine's great, but like you click the button and nothing happens. So you click it like 5 times, and then
And then it's a big dose.
yeah, then it's a big dose. And then you get like excited because you're like, well, fuck, this feels great. But I mean, they give you such small amounts here. Like if I remember when I had my surgery, when I stood on that screw and then stood on sticks that went in my foot, I needed to have morphine as well. And the strange thing about the morphine is that it's like, it's in South Africa, they give you like a huge amount. Like I remember clicking that thing for the whole night because I just sat up the whole night awake in pain. But here, that thing maybe lasted me about 20 clicks. That's about it.
Like, I need more.
Yeah, dude. And then it's like a weird thing because you're not like 100% in pain, but you just want to be comfortable. You know, it's not too much about the pain.
Yeah.
But yeah, then I had to sit the whole night after they wouldn't give me more, just waiting for the painkillers because everyone goes to sleep. Like I understand it's like 3 a.m, but I'm also like, please, man,
Yeah.
I need a pain relief.
I gotta say though, he handled it like a champ. Eh?
He did.
He handled it
Sure.
like a champ. Yeah.
I mean, even when they came back and offered painkillers after the surgery, it was like, I'm good.
Oh, don't you know me? I don't believe in medicine.
Oh, he's one of the real ones. This.
Don't believe in medicine. Okay, I'll be 100% honest though. So it wasn't sore. Like even when I broke my ankle, everyone was like, "Wow, that must have been so painful." It wasn't sore. And then Oaks were like, "It's gonna be sore afterwards," and it wasn't sore.
Maybe the problem is
never
in your
sore.
brain.
The only it was sore after the surgery, but that was only sore like to try and get your foot into a position, and then it wasn't sore once it's in that position. But every time I put it in the position, the doctor would come and move it to another position because I would like rest it on its side, and he's like, "No, it needs to be straight up." Which I mean, it wasn't too bad.
Where's that foot now?
It's under the table. It's looking.
Put it on the puff.
I tried, bro. It's like a little bit of a balloon.
You know what story I was remembering the other day, babe? When we went to Korea.
Yeah.
You guys been to Paris Baguette?
Yeah,
Have
the
we?
dessert place.
Yeah, well, it's like
It's like a bakery, yeah.
So, I mean, it's very popular in Korea and it's great. They're everywhere. And we go to this one close to our house. We get some food. We sit down.
Oh my god, I know what story you're gonna talk about.
We sit in there. We're like, yo, this is good. Like, this was a really good little treat. Baked delight. And then we're sitting at the table and we're kind of like sticky because, you know, we've just eaten, I don't know what we ate, croissants or something. So Duncan goes and he gets up to get some tissues and he's like, okay, well, there's some sanitizer here. Let me just sanitize quickly. So I'm like, sweet, I could use some of that as well. So I go over and I'm all excited and I'm like, and he's looking at me like,
It's not sanitizer.
Something's wrong, dude.
and meanwhile, this whole table of Koreans are looking at us being like,
Laughing at
What?
us, bro.
are they doing?
What was this?
And we like,
Syrup.
why is it so sticky? And it was syrup. It was like sugar syrup
Oh no.
that you pump into your coffee.
Classic South
And we just
African
look-
move.
These fucking lawas there in this Korean place, like pumping the syrup and being like, this lady comes up, one of the like staff walks up to us and she's like, did you just put that on your hands? And we were like,
Maybe.
yes, we did. She's like, gives us a wet wipe. She's like, there you go. Like, thank you. And this table next to us are just like,
Good job.
we just like, oh my god.
Feeling like the earth can just
Yeah.
suck you in.
We just looked at each other and we were like, well, that was a new experience.
Well, I have a PhD. I have a PhD in embarrassment. So much so that I don't honestly really get embarrassed anymore.
Yeah.
I've reached my pinnacle at a young age.
Yeah, she'll know when I'm embarrassed, bro. I normally get angry.
Yeah, Duncan doesn't like
Mm.
I don't like being embarrassed, bro.
I'm just like, oh, who cares? Whatever.
Shit happens.
I hate it when somebody embarrasses me.
That's what I was gonna say. Like if I do something,
Just getting embarrassed now, it's okay.
yeah,
Embarrassing
I
yourself.
embarrass myself, no problem.
yeah.
I think you guys know that by now. I literally just do not give a shit.
It's a good thing, dude. It's actually a really good thing.
I mean, you got to take power of the situation at the end of the day.
Yeah. No, but like you said there, I agree with you 100%. I don't like when someone embarrasses me because then, I don't know, it's like an attack, bro. It's an attack on the
what
soul.
it usually is, I think, is a person with a minority complex. It's a strategy to kind of. It's almost like they use you as a step.
Shift focus.
Yeah. Get a little bit higher. You know?
Yeah.
If they can bring you down, they seem bigger, kind of deal.
But also, like, I must say, some people don't intentionally embarrass you. Like, sometimes they say something by mistake. Like, I'll give you an example of a story. I mean, it might be a little bit too much information here. But we were walking in Korea again with our friends, Vicky and Liam. And Catherine obviously said something about my underpants. I think she was talking about...
I was talking about your socks.
Were you talking about my socks? I thought you were talking about the skid marks on my underpants, bro.
That's all right.
Yeah.
I got them.
No, I mean, we all have them. I
It's
remember...
a little filter stain.
It was definitely the underpants because I chirped you about something else afterwards.
Okay.
But I remember, like, it wasn't an intentional embarrassment, you know, it was just like something that popped up, like just out of habit. Because, like, when we were at home, we just talk about things and it's funny. But then because we were out with some chums, I was like, yo,
Felt it's not appropriate.
my ego, dog. People don't need to know about my skid marks unless I'm showing them, you know?
You want them to perceive you as skid markless.
Yes, exactly.
Of course.
But obviously, you know, like I'm a pooper, bro. I poop.
Yeah, I like to be perceived as the guy with the skid marks. Get that out the way, immediately they know where they stand.
Yeah, yes, but I was still very, very young there, bro. Too worried about people back then.
Did I tell you about the time when I cocked myself on a bridge?
No. Please tell the world what we have.
About the one on the seesaw, that's a good one.
Oh no, that was when I was a
It's still a good one.
I was a lighty. No, Denise, we just discovered Dairy Queen.
Oh.
And I do like
That
a
is dangerous.
milkshake. I do like a milkshake.
But he's lactose
But
intolerant.
we didn't really know it that well back then.
Yeah.
So we didn't know if you buy, it's the 2-for-1 thing. It's still over here. You get the 2
Yeah,
for
so
1.
if you buy like one milkshake, you get another one of the same flavor.
So we bought like 3 because we thought
4.
1 extra. Oh, 4. Yeah, 2 for each, and then we ended up getting like 8. And I was gung ho because it's nice. You know Dairy Queen. And we took
Yeah.
like 4 different flavors.
It's getting keen.
So I put away about 3 of them. And that's when we learned. I was lactose intolerant. Everything's okay. That when you're drinking it. The next morning, woke up, ready for work. I was on the bridge because we had to like go over a bridge to get to the subway. And maybe I didn't even try to poop, but I think I pooped and I cucked my pants. And I just told her like,
I'm not going to
I'm
work.
not going to work. I booked off for the day. Yeah, because every time I pooped, I cucked. So
Was it a diarrhea shit or?
yeah, it was like I squirted.
Yes, that's lovely,
You can't
bro.
go to work like that. You can't.
I've also been wrecked by many a milkshake.
Oh.
If you're a gambling man, you can
I
go to
love
work.
them so much, but
No.
like they had milkshakes. Was it yesterday? Day before yesterday or something.
Yesterday.
And I just said no.
No, Martin, you gotta drink one, bro.
No, my bro, you don't know me. I've got like a bad lactose intolerance, dude.
I'm a gambling man, bro. I want to see.
Really?
Yeah, if I have like a pizza, the next day is just it's a
Really?
gamble. Yeah, because you do know me. I do like to poop, but it's a gamble
Yeah.
after a pizza. Yeah.
For me, it was Rockamama's.
Oh,
I mean, I don't know what
You know
it
what,
is about
I'll cock
Rockamama's,
myself
but
for
I
that.
cannot eat Rockamama's. Like every time, and for some
I
reason,
do miss that.
maybe it was, I don't know, 3 years into our relationship.
yo, and it's instant.
His mom and him and his brother, they love Rockamama's. Let's go to
love it.
Rockamama's. And I'm sitting there and I'm like,
I really
be
shouldn't
fine.
eat this.
and I'm eating, and like Duncan said, it's instant. I literally finish eating and I'm like, good God.
Gonna go.
And they're just like, are you okay? And I'm
Compose
like,
yourself.
no, I need to find a toilet right the fuck now. Like, and I had to like run
It's the
through
best when a chick has
Rosebank,
got
like,
this thing. I love
and
that.
you just kind of praying no one's in there, but you run into the bathroom and there's people in there and you're like, well, you know what?
It is what it
Oh
is.
my! You're reminding me of something now. You're talking about running. It's the day when I signed up. Probably the last story for the half.
So,
But,
why do we always get onto this topic?
It is. Yeah, it was the day that I signed up at
Oh, the
coffees
uni.
at my university,
Oh Lord.
and I was in that ego age, and just signed up, and there's just chicks everywhere. Like Bloemfontein, really, its reputation precedes it. Like it's got the most beautiful ladies all around, and we're in the queue. We're doing the whole registration, and I could just feel this thing thumping up against my fucking sphincter, I suppose you call it. And I kept it in because we're in line, and you can't leave the line. And when you keep that thing going, and it just gets worse and worse and worse. And when we
You get the
registered,
hot
as
flushes.
soon as
Yo.
we I was sweating profusely, actually. And when we registered, I was like, okay, I'm going now. I'm running over whoever. And as I was running, I realized, because I'm running. I'm not even jogging. I'm
You're
running.
sprinting, man.
I realized I don't know where the shit is. I'm just
I'm
running
just
now
going.
with a huge cuck. I'm just running around with a cuck.
Hoping you find.
So now I'm stopping, and there is only chicks. Like Bloemfontein, really per capita has most chicks. So I stopped, and there's this beautiful a group of like 6 chicks. And as I'm asking her where the toilet is,
God.
I'm just pooping. And I can't keep it in. And they're just looking at me, and they're like just pointing a finger. And as I'm running, as I poop, and going, it was the most
I know
embarrassing.
those.
Are we going to take a little interlude?
Yeah, let's take an interlude.
And on the curve.
Bang, bang.
Okay, so everybody's got their drink.
Everyone's got a liquid
Cool.
Sorted.
ready.
So while we were having a little chat, I actually was thinking about a story of our one friend here in China.
Yeah.
And
Let's not name any name.
yeah, I'm not going to name any names, but
But
if
he will
he
know.
ever listens to this, he will know.
It's a
So he was just like extremely accident prone. And I don't know if it was just a thing or maybe because he wasn't always paying attention to what he was doing, or I don't know, but he was extremely accident prone. Like the one day we were walking out of the gym, and he had like his gym card and his phone and stuff in his hand. And we were saying like, how bad would it be if your phone dropped in between the little gap between the floor and the elevator? And like,
just hypothetically.
yeah, like just thinking about it, you know?
And I picture that every time I get on the subway.
Exactly. Yeah.
Like,
Well,
my phone going through that gap.
So we were literally just talking about it. And then, whoop, there goes his gym card.
Oh.
He drops his gym card into that little gap between the elevator and the floor.
Oh Lord.
the subway. It happened with his phone with the subway as well.
Just
And-
after that.
Yeah.
No, I mean, like, I don't know how long after that, but it didn't.
But it happened, and he literally had to stop the entire subway
They
so
stopped.
that they could get his phone
They sent
out from
somebody
under
in.
the train.
Oh my God.
So this guy was just
Oh,
a
it's-
nightmare.
I wouldn't say nightmare. It's just like
Some
he's got
people-
like a bubble around him, and you're kind of scared to go into it.
He even shouldered the stairs in the
Oh
subway
my
station.
God,
That's
he
a completely
fell
different
so
story.
hard.
But anyway, so we signed up at the same gym, like the 3 of us signed up together. So we went to gym early in the morning, and we started with cardio. So we were on the treadmills. And I got on the treadmill, and I wanted to start like jogging, but I could feel the treadmill was kind of slipping a bit. And I'm like, no.
When you're saying slipping, it like literally
You can literally feel the belt.
the belt
Yeah.
slipping on the
slipping,
machine.
right? So I'm like, no, this is not going to work. If it speeds up, this is going to cause a problem. So I turned it off and I moved to another treadmill. So now he comes along and he takes the treadmill that I just kind of discarded, you know?
And you also said like,
And I
don't-
told
Don't
him,
use
like,
this.
don't use that one. It's slipping.
no,
Like,
I'm in the middle. Denise is this side, and that's the one she just
and
discarded.
so he's on that end, Martin in the middle, me on this side. Okay.
Yet he gets on.
And so he gets on and he starts like walking. But now the thing is, when he was younger, he was hit by a car and he had to have surgery on like his Achilles heel. So the tendon was a bit shorter than the other leg. So he had this bit of a
little bit of a mobility issue.
yeah,
but
I wouldn't
not
say a
too much.
limp, but
Yeah.
yeah, just mobility. So
He's
now
actually fine, but
he starts walking on the treadmill and he decides, okay, now Martin's running, I'm jogging, and he decides he also wants to speed up a bit, you know? And as I'm like mid jog, I just hear this commotion next to me. And I don't know if it was his foot with a mobility issue or if it was the treadmill, but he pushed down on that thing. Like there's no other word to even describe what happened.
I would almost call it a compartmental pushing down. It happened in stages.
Because as he was falling, he gripped onto the handrails of the treadmill and he didn't let go. So now it was just his feet like kind of flapping behind him.
And he's just looking at me.
And the belt of the treadmill is just like
and his eyes twitching kind of when he's looking at me.
Yeah, because he has this one lazy eye as well, and if he gets like really stressed or something, it starts twitching. So now he's holding onto the treadmill, looking at Martin with this like lost puppy dog face and the twitching eye and everything.
And I love this guy. I still love him to today. I want to help him, but there's nothing I can do.
There's only so much you can do.
And this treadmill rejects him, and it just tosses him out like wet cuck. And now he's on the ground. And as he is recuperating, he stands up and he's silent. And we stopped our treadmills because this is like, fucking well, what just happened? Because it was major, you know? And we're just looking at him and he says, my pink baloney. I'm like, what are you fucking talking about? I got baloney. I'm like, what is baloney? He starts like pulling up his fucking sweatpants, and it's literally pink.
Oh no.
Pink on his shins. And I'm like, we're indoors, man. We're on a fucking treadmill. How did that happen? No skin.
Friction burn.
All the way from his ankle to his knee. I felt so sorry for him.
And it was this big circle, like right on his knee that was just nothing.
And Denise was actually doctoring him because she's like, we all
because
felt so
I had
bad for
some
him.
band-aids in my gym bag. I'm like, well, this is the best I can do at the moment. But gee, it was
beautiful.
It was good. It was so good.
Till today, I think one of the funniest people. I wish I could name him, but I can't. He's the funniest character. You'll meet him sometime, I hope.
Shout out to you, whatever your name is, bro.
And the subway steps was also another one that made me laugh so hard.
Actually, didn't burn people.
I had
so bad.
a run-in with some stairs as well.
I think the run-in with the toilet in Korea was even more funny. Bro.
I don't know. I mean, this one was pretty wild. Because often when I think what was the most embarrassing thing I've ever done, I often think of this particular incident. So, I mean, it's hard to tell the story without incriminating myself a little bit. But I think I must have been in grade 11. So not quite old enough. But there were these under 18 parties that happened all the time. And there was a shopping center that had this club, and this club would throw the under 18 parties.
It was a catwalk.
It wasn't catwalk. It was, I think it was Casablanca.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway, so my friends and I are like, cool, we're going to go to the under 18 party, but really we're going to go to O'Hagan's, which is a bar to the left. And it was so wild because my friend and I got there first, and our friend was getting dropped off there by her mom. And as her mom dropped her off, we opened the car door and she fell out the car, and we were like, good Lord, girl, we haven't even started.
Yo.
You're not even with anyone. You just came from your own house.
That's how a party should start.
And her mom was like, I think I should take her home. And we were like, no, that's okay. We pick her up, one on each side, carrying her, being like, bye, see you later. Okay. Kind of head towards the under 18 party, wait for the mom to leave, and then hit a sharp turn, go into the bar. And we were sitting there having drinks, having a good time, being, rambunctious kids. Then eventually they come up to us and they're like, let's see some IDs. And we're like,
Don't
we
have it.
don't have any IDs. And we all just like, it's cool. We got what we needed. So we're going to bounce. And then right across from this place is a McDonald's. And it's quite a big McDonald's, got an upstairs and a downstairs. You can sit in there. So we go into the McDonald's and we get some food. And by this point, a lot of people have come out of the under 18 party. Not just people, but people we know. Like our peers, our friends. Everyone who's at the under 18 party are now in the McDonald's. So we get some food. We go up to the top. We're sitting there. It was blurry. I can tell you that much. It was blurry. But we get up and, I mean, when you're 17 years old and you're trying to pass off for sober. You're wearing the heels that you can't walk in, the tiny little dress that if you bend over, your ass is out. So we're walking and we're like, okay, let's go downstairs. And as we go to the stairs, I slip. And I completely pushed all the way down the stairs in front of a full McDonald's with everybody that we know in there. And my dress goes up.
Enjoying this so much.
Sorry.
And my friend who's next to me, as I went, I knocked her phone and she's like, my phone! I'm like, fuck your phone! I literally am bruised all the way up my left side. Everybody saw my underpants. I hit my head. I hit everything. I completely made an ass of myself. I don't know if I want to cry from the pain or the embarrassment. I'm completely stone cold sober right now. Get your shit, over, we are leaving. And she's just there being like, I'm gonna pee. And I'm like, thanks for the concern. And I walk out and everybody's looking at me and I'm like, I'm not drunk. Don't look at me. Oh my God. To this day, it's been what, 13 years. And she still sends me those videos where you're like, when you think of that time that your friend fell and you go to bed and you're like...
As one should.
She was like, I still laugh about that night.
It reminds me of the time I night down the stairs now the other day.
Yeah. At least it wasn't in a room full of people that
my wife's reaction was the best.
Yeah.
I was 2 steps from the top.
Oh, so close.
And I just fucking went like a sack of potatoes. And I think I went head over heels at some point.
It was also a compartmentalized push down the stairs kind of moment.
And as I'm at the bottom,
because I heard multiple bumps.
And I'm sitting there and I stand up. As soon as I stood up, she's at the top of the stairs with her hands on her hips like this. And she says, are you okay? I'm like, yeah.
No, I asked you, what are you doing?
Oh yeah, what are you doing? And I told her, I'm fucking pushing down.
Because at that point, I heard the thumps as he was going down the stairs, right? So now I'm laying in bed, I'm awake, and I'm listening, like, is he going to get up? Is he okay? Should I go down and help him? So then I hear him go into the kitchen and then come back. And that's the moment where I opened the door and asked him, like, what are you doing? Because when I put on the bedroom light, he was standing there with a towel and he was just like looking at me like this. And he was trying to mop up the spilled drink.
The evidence.
Yeah.
The evidence.
So he was just like trying to clean up his spill.
And then as I'm cleaning up, she's like, you better clean up. I'm like, fucking busy.
What am I doing?
And then, now I'm standing there, leaving the bedroom light on so he can see, because he just had, his phone light, not even the torch, just the screen light, trying to see what he's cleaning up.
I was incapable of getting
And then he's like, okay, but you can turn off the light, go to sleep. I'm like, just clean up the mess while the light is on so you can see what you're actually doing instead of using the phone.
I don't want none of that. I'm like, go sleep.
Oh, God, yeah, stairs and alcohol.
Oh.
It's not the first time I've seen Martin fall downstairs.
No, but you know what? It's not me.
It's you.
It's stairs.
It's you.
It's the stairs, mom.
These stairs are steep, though, to be fair.
And
And they got
also,
those
that
little
time
lips.
that you hit your cop, I was
That's
like,
the
this
spirit.
is a death trap.
Mhm.
Because that little slope in between for wheelchairs, but it's like plastic and it's wet. And
Yeah, and there's no
hella
grip.
dodgy. And
And you
I
know what
was
the
like,
weirdest thing is? I wasn't even.
almost
That was not alcohol that much.
No, that wasn't
Yeah.
alcohol.
Straight
Bad
up
luck.
bad luck.
It was 100% bad.
But if it would happen to anybody, if a head and a hard surface is involved, it's gonna be me.
Bro, it's not even a joke. Like if you were 2 millimeters to the right, you wouldn't have fallen. You literally stepped on the on like down the normal step, and you stood on the slope with your left foot. But it wasn't even like your full foot; it was like half your foot, dude, and that's why you kind of slipped as well.
Oh,
It was such an experience.
A full foot.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. Yo, that night was hectic.
Oh, fricked.
And we'd literally just left, gotten in the taxi, gone home, and been like,
Yeah, like
Hey.
I just put on my pajama bottoms when you called me and told me like, okay, Martin fell, and I'm like, oh
yeah.
god, here we go again.
Yeah.
Well, that time that Duncan was talking about in Korea,
Well, can I tell the story?
you can.
This is one of my favorite things ever.
This is why I don't drink Tokyo Long Island.
Yo, well, okay, we'll get into the Tokyos another time, but Catherine can't handle Tokyo Island iced teas. I
So
don't
that
know
was
why.
my first time.
But if she ever just has one, that's all it needs for her to get absolutely ridiculously drunk.
That's it.
Like it's just one.
Just one.
Just one.
I mean, look at what's in one.
I mean, yeah, fair enough. There's a lot. So I'm really tall. I'm like 6'6", and when I go into the bathroom stalls in Korea, they're not. Let's say they're about 6'4".
You know what? Get the recipe for Tokyo Long Island.
Yeah, let me get it up there. So I was standing on the stall, and I was standing. I don't know why we were in the same bathroom. But
No, you know why? It's because I really needed to pee, and I was like, I need a buddy. I need a buddy system, and I don't have a girl to go with me, so please go with me because I'm scared to go alone. So please just come with me.
Yeah, so this is what's in it. So Catherine was like, "Come with me. Let's go and see. Like, let's go to the toilet." So I was like, "Sick. I also need to pee." Because not. I think about a month before that was the time when
That's
I
quite a lot.
literally peed in my pants because I was too keen on talking to people that night. But anyway, so we go into the stall, and Catherine's in one stall, and I'm in the like 2 stalls past her. And I look over, and I'm like, "Oh, I can actually see over these." So the next second, Catherine, I hear her closing the toilet lid, and she stands on the toilet. And just as I see her forehead coming up, I just hear this boom.
And a splash.
And I didn't hear any splash. I just heard like the toilet fucking seat shift, like completely. And then I heard her push down.
Down horizontally.
And then, well, I was just like, I don't know what happened. So I quickly just finished peeing, and I could like
Yes.
wobble over there to her, and I open the door, and there she is on the
Tries
ground.
to open the door, and I'm like, don't fucking just leave me alone right
You
now.
don't want him to see you that vulnerable.
Well,
So I was like,
I'm struggling to open the door anyway because she's in there.
I'm
Just
literally
trying-
lying against
she's
it.
lying against it. So I'm like trying to convince her, like, babe, please open the door. Let me come check on you. So like I open the door eventually, and she's like half curled up into the corner
In the fetal
in
position.
the fetal position. The toilet seat's on the fucking floor, and I'm like, what the fuck just happened?
Messed up the toilet seat.
She
I broke it completely.
she get like ripped off the toilet, dude,
Tell me again, why did you stand on the carpet?
because she wanted to see how tall I was, bro.
Duncan was like, I can look over the thing. So I was like,
I also want to do that.
see, like, I can stand up and, see you over the stall. I was drunk. I mean, you don't think about
Yo.
what makes sense. I was just like, hey. And the next thing was just like,
Bye.
bye. And then I literally went down and I landed on my ass.
On your coccyx, bro.
On my
It's
coccyx,
better
and
than
I
your
just, winded like, and I was like, I'm gonna throw up, I'm gonna vomit. I just don't know what to do right now. Just leave me alone. Like, I'm completely sober,
Oh my god.
gonna be sick. I don't know how to even deal with the pain I'm feeling right now in
Oh
my
my
ass.
gosh.
And we kind of come out the bathroom, and I'm like,
See
I
ya.
need to go home, people. Thanks for a good night. Like,
Ugh.
cheers. And for 3 weeks after that,
3 weeks, yeah,
I could
that's rough.
not shit.
Oi.
I could not fart.
Sit.
Oi.
I could not sit.
When
I was literally
I know.
on chairs
I-
sideways, being
Medieval,
like,
Yeah.
bro.
oh my
I know that thing.
God.
Yeah.
Every time I fucking sneezed, I'd be like,
Mhm.
You know, we're all
So
talking about me
bad.
cracking my pip over here in China. My ass.
you're the ass. Because what do? You
The-
can't sit down. You
no,
can't
but
shit.
the
You can't
bruise came out a week later, and it lasted
Then.
for about a month.
fart.
Till this day, it changed the chemical fucking composition of my
Still
skin on my
dark.
ass.
It's a different ass now.
Yeah.
I've got a colored ass.
It does. There's like you can still see like
That's how
the
hard I fell on my
outlines
ass.
of what was the bruise.
Like
it's
the
like a
ragdoll
darker
with the
color.
patch.
This
Yeah.
granite kind of paving we got here, it's a brutal.
So if you guys can imagine, Martin was walking and his legs flung up high, and his ass hit the side of the step,
Ooh,
and then his pip hit the step as well.
get on my puppet this step.
Yes, and it was
And his
hectic.
elbow, like
And his elbow,
the
yeah.
scar is still there.
Well, the elbow was weird, bro, because that scrape, like, I can't explain what they did. They took tar and they put it on top of the top step. So, like, they built this, like, semicircle of tar on top of the top step, and that's what scraped his elbow, and that's where he hits his head as well. But Martin was so hectic during the story. Like, we're all checking to see if he's okay. He stands up and he's fine. He's like, what's up, guys? And then he's like, just give me a second. So he sits down and he just passes out. And we were like, oh, fuck. This is not good. This is really not good. And then we turned him on his side. And then, you know, like, we were just trying to figure out what's the best thing. And then you came to it. You stood up and you're like, I'm fine, Oaks. I'm fine. But you had, like, the look of, like, the most innocent, like, 10-year-old who's just done something.
I went back to my factory default.
You did. You were full factory default, bro. You look like a little child who has literally just, I don't know, stolen money out of his mom's purse, bro. You looked so innocent. And we were trying to talk to you. You're like, I'm fine, bro. I'm fine. What are we going to do? And we were like, what do you want to do? And you're like, I need to go home. So we were like, sick. And then, yeah, fucking hell, bro. You went home. Luckily, you were all right.
Well, yeah.
To be honest, Denise, we thought that was the last time Martin was ever going to come out with us, bro.
No, like I said, I've been with him long enough now. I know I've been there, done that, got the t-shirt kind of deal.
Yeah.
It's not the first time I had to nurse him through a head injury.
Oh my god, it's not.
So, yeah, I'm
Do you want to tell the first time?
well, that's up to you.
Well, I don't give a shit. Get out of the back. And
Yeah, I mean, you're also one of those accident-prone kind of
Yeah.
people. Yeah, so the first time I had to nurse one of his head injuries, we were on our honeymoon, and we were in Jeffreys Bay. So we arrived early that morning. We've been on the road the whole morning, haven't had breakfast or anything. And obviously we went exploring a bit, you know, checked out some of the surf shops and all of that. And
just remember, it's
yeah,
China, so-
yeah, I know. So, sorry, we got some snacks and we went to like the Spar, got some food for the braai and everything, some beers and
let's use the word substance.
yeah, some
Some
beers
substance.
and some other substances as well. And that night at the, like, what was it? Bed and breakfast kind of thing, guest house
Lodge?
thing, lodge, I don't
Yeah.
know. But at the
Substance is
accommodation we were
Viagra.
staying at, they had the braai facilities and everything. So we started a fire, me and him, we were chilling.
And
I was-
we're joined by,
Yeah, we were joined by this couple from Amsterdam.
yeah,
Yeah.
which they were pretty well versed in the substance.
In the substance,
That's okay.
yes.
Viagra.
So by that time, we still haven't had anything to eat. So we were just drinking and enjoying ourselves, having a jolly good old time. And Martin came and sat down on the little bench beside me. And at some point, he said he needs to go and have a wee. So he got up, and you know those big tar poles that they use for like the grass roofs and stuff. You know, the thatch roofs.
Yeah.
So there were these big tar poles. And as he got up off the bench to go and have a wee, he just was out. Like sack of potatoes,
Comatose.
snoring, comatose, kind of out. And he literally shouldered one of those big tar poles so that the whole thatch roof was kind of vibrating. And I was scared, completely sober at that point. So now I'm up, I'm trying to get him around, and I turned him on his back, gave him a couple of slaps, nothing happened, and I'm like, okay, well, I'm gonna have to go in with one of the big ones. So I gave him like this massive slap. He came to, and I'm like, okay, we need to get you to the room. So now it's skinny old me, and I have to try and get this big hunk of a man to our room. And there were like these 2 or 3 steps. Yeah, so it was like those thatch roofs. But anyway, so it was these 2 or 3 steps leading up to our room. And just as we got to like the top step, he's out cold again. Out. And I'm like, there's no way I'm going to try and stop him or even be able to. And as he went down the second time, he hit his head on the side of the wall. And it's kind of like those Wendy houses, you know, those wooden
Yeah, let me look those up
wooden
quickly.
ones.
The Windy house. Everyone's had a Windy house.
Yeah, like the garden shed type of thing. So it's kind of like that. So he hit his head on the side of one of those walls.
Eish.
And again, I was like giving him a couple of slaps, trying to get him back around. And eventually I got him up and into our room. And when I turned on the lights and I could actually see him, there was a gash on his head, probably about 2 centimeters in length, 2 or 3. It was quite a large gash, but it usually head wounds tend to bleed a lot.
Yeah.
With this one, there was no blood, nothing, which was extremely weird. So I automatically,
my blood pressure was pretty fucking low.
yes, but I would like automatically started panicking because why isn't he bleeding? Like, is he dead or something? Like, what's happening? And through this whole commotion, like all of the falling and the noise and everything,
And the beatings. Let's not forget the beatings.
the owner
She
of,
clapped the cock out of me.
yeah, there were a few good ones. The owner of the bed and breakfast actually came out to see what was happening. And luckily, she was like a retired nurse or something. So when I told her, like, he passed out, he fell, she's like, okay. So she went inside, she got like her first aid kits, she came back, took his blood pressure, and it was really low. And then she had a look at the wound.
And then she went all gung-ho, like, I need to go to the hospital.
And I agreed with her
I mean, it's a
because
fair assessment, bro.
once again, head wounds bleed, and
you
you
don't
weren't
tell that to a
bleeding.
person on said substance.
No,
and
for sure.
expect calmness.
No, for
I
sure.
was like, hey.
But it's a concussion. It's a concussion scare. That's what she's scared of. Because if you pass out while you're concussed,
Yeah.
you can go into a coma.
So, yeah, she cleaned out the wound and everything, and she's like, you really should go to the hospital. And we're like, okay, where's the closest hospital? She's like, no, it's about half an hour's drive.
And I was like,
I'm
nah, I've got my
okay.
superpower. I plot quick.
So then I had to try and keep him awake, like long enough to kind of,
Sober up.
yeah,
It
sober
took
up and
long,
everything.
And I had proper concussion.
And he was so sleepy, and it was an absolute nightmare to try and keep him awake.
But she did.
And
She was funny. She made jokes. Oh, no.
Yeah, that's the best. That's literally the best
And
approach.
the bummer of everything was we were supposed to go like dune surfing the next
And I
day.
was so excited for because that's my kind of vibe. I love that shit.
So I had to like message the people where I made the booking, and I had to tell them like, sorry, we have to cancel the booking because my husband has a concussion. So yeah, that was fun.
That was fun.
And then for the next 3 days, he had to wear a beanie anytime we took a picture so that nobody could see the gash in
I
his head.
literally, I probably still have it. Like I had
Yeah, it
a
was
proper cut
it
in
was
my
on
head,
this
like
side.
a gash.
There.
What a beautiful introduction to Martin's head injuries. It sorted you out. You're like, shit, if I'm gonna survive this, I've survived it all.
But it's not the first injury that I've had to deal with him, so
Yeah, fair
that's
enough.
why if somebody tells me like he got hurt, I'm like, okay, is he still alive?
Sounds about
Oh,
right.
you're talking about my penis in the fan.
Well, yes. I was more thinking about the thumb that you ripped open with the cabinet and
Oh,
the
sorry,
finger
yeah.
with the grinder. And,
Yeah.
Well, while we're on the penis fan, do you want to tell us about your penis fan story?
Oh,
Well, I'll let my wife handle that as well, I suppose.
We're all curious about the penis fan.
do like a
Should
his side, her side
Oh.
kind of version of this story.
Well, as one does when you're in a new relationship.
You tend to copulate a lot.
I wouldn't say copulation was not on my mind, but
Were you windmilling her, bro?
yeah,
Coitus.
well, you get erect.
Yeah.
And we were mid something, and it was Bloemfontein, midsummer. And what happens when it's really hot over there is the air gets to a kind of point where it's like a fan doesn't do much. It doesn't move the air. It's just like thick almost. Like you'd have the fan on full blast and not feel anything come from it. But if you take the fan and you take that front cover off, then it works. It works.
It's lekker.
So naturally, I took the front cover off. And
Okay, so his room was really small, right? So it was a double bed, and the one side of the bed was like against the wall, and then on the other side there was literally just enough space
to walk.
and then it was his desk, and then at the foot of the bed there was also just like a small space to walk, and then the built-in cupboards. So obviously one of the cupboard doors were open so that you can access everything, and then the fan was kind of in front of the cupboard facing towards the bed, right?
And I was still a young man, so I was virile. I had a strong member when it came to that point. And at some point I had to get something out of the closet, I suppose.
A pair of pants.
A pair of pants or something. And things were in full swing. And as I got up to get the pair of pants,
He
fan
forgot about judging
was
distance.
And it being open and no protector.
and my penis went into the fan. And I stopped it.
Yeah. No, like I could, yeah, grrr, like literally the blades stopping.
Yes, so they're multiple each year.
What more can you say?
That could have been
That could have been a
such a
Fatal.
life-changing disaster.
fatal.
Yeah.
Fatal. End game.
Where did it hit you? Did it hit you on the shaft or the head, bro?
Everywhere.
I think I put the whole thing in there, to be honest with you.
It's like a
I mean, I stopped the fan, so.
And he just went all quiet. And I was on the bed and I'm like, I really want to laugh because it is funny, but it's still the beginning of the relationship. I don't want him to get to know my twisted sense of humor just yet. So maybe I should act concerned or something. I don't know.
That's what it was like.
Yeah, it's exactly that. So I was just like, are you okay?
Needless to
He
say,
was just quiet.
nothing
So I'm
else
like,
happened that night. Apart from the consolation. That was about it.
Did you at least get like a back tickle, bro?
Some prayers. Thank God. Thank you.
some
Thank
Hail
you.
Marys and, and all of that.
No, you're super lucky, Martin, bro.
For protecting my member.
You're super lucky, dude. I mean, in Vietnam, I stood up too quickly and fell into the fan, and it literally split my finger in half.
Yeah, you like
Jeez.
fall forward.
Yeah, I fell forward.
And the cover was on.
The cover was on, exactly, bro. And
Imagine if that was your penis.
no, dude, because I mean, it split it in half, bro. So I'm glad that wasn't my fucking willy, bro. Yes. I'm glad your willy's alright, bro.
And, you know, the funny thing about that was he broke the fan. And we were in lockdown in Vietnam where you
no.
couldn't buy stuff.
In
And it
fucking
was
summer heat, bro.
so hot. And I was like,
What are we gonna do?
I'm really glad your finger's okay, but the fan is not okay, and now
So
we're dying, and we just like it's so hot that we now don't have a
That's
fan.
stagnant air.
Like for God's sake.
Oh my gosh.
Oh.
As you can see, the point of the story was the fan, not the fucking finger. But you know, which literally had like fucking shit coming out of it.
The finger survived.
I mean, it's still got no feeling in the tip, bro.
Oh yeah, his as well. Martin's finger as well.
I thought you were talking about his willy.
Like, oh, that's a shame.
That's a shame.
Quite tragic there.
Well, I don't know about that, but
Oh, there's. I think it feels okay.
then there we go. No harm, no foul. But yeah, no, I was talking about the finger that he had the grinder accident with. Yeah, still the tip.
That was
also.
unfortunate as well. Yeah.
What a meat grinder.
No, like a proper angle
Power
grinder.
tool angle.
Oh, okay. What happened? Tell us. Last story of the podcast.
I had this angle grinder that I inherited from my grandpa. Well, I had a couple of his tools. And I had to sell some of the tools coming back to China. And this one grinder had an issue because I think I had 3 or 4 of them.
Yeah.
And this one grinder had an issue with its on and off switch. It had like he put another I think he put another toggle switch on the Y or something. I can't remember, but anyway. I plugged it in, tried to switch it on and off, it didn't go. I plugged it out, plugged it in again, tried to switch it on and off, didn't go. And as I did this whole thing, I switched it on, and I think it took. And when I plugged it in, it kicked on.
Yeah, so it
As
jolted
soon
out
as
of
I
his
put
hand.
the plug in the fucking wall, it kicked on. And an angle grinder's got that torque to it. So as it shuts on, it jumped out of my hand. And as it jumped out of my hand, naturally, as one does, you grab it instinctively.
yeah.
You grab it. And as I grabbed it, I pushed my fucking finger in.
Oh my god, man.
I was in the kitchen. I was in
And I
the
stopped the
kitchen
fucking angle grinder
Yeah.
blade as well.
With your finger.
with his
Yeah.
finger. Like I was in the kitchen, busy cleaning up and stuff because it was like a
And it's not a
Saturday.
grinding blade, it's a cutting blade.
Yeah.
So
Luckily, it was an old cutting blade.
yeah, so I was in the kitchen and I hear the grinder kick on, and then all of a sudden I just hear that zzz, like the blade going into
As it hits my
something,
bone.
and I'm like,
Oh, so it pierced the skin, eh?
No, hit my bone.
so I'm like, oh shit, should I go in and look, or should I just wait and see if he comes out, or so now I'm kind of heading towards the garage where he's at.
And this is a thing, I think.
He doesn't
when I
make a
really
sound.
get hurt, I don't go, or nothing. I just quiet.
So I don't know if he's dead or if he's like bleeding out or what the hell's happening. So now I'm walking towards the garage door, and as I'm almost there, he opens the door and it's just like blood dripping everywhere. And this is weird because again, he usually clots very quickly.
But that was it. I took my finger off, basically, yeah.
So then I'm like, okay, well, just sit there. I'm gonna get like some toilet paper or something, and we can just try and stop
And
the
this is
bleeding
still
as
a
much as
working
possible.
week. Like, I'm in the middle of my working week.
Yeah,
I
he
was doing
was on-
ATMs at that
Yeah,
point.
so he was on like standby for that Saturday. And we were living in like a really small town at that stage, so there wasn't a hospital in the town. We had to drive about 30, 40 minutes to the closest hospital. So now I'm there.
But first of all, I was like, I don't think we need to go to the hospital because I'm always heading away from this. I don't want to get stitches or anything. I just cut my finger off. That's okay, but I don't want to get stitches.
Yeah.
So eventually I got him to like
Such a
rinse. Yeah, so eventually I got him to like rinse the finger under the water so I can see what's going on.
Oh, that was painful.
And it was
Shit.
literally just like a V, kind of like split even through the nail. And I'm like, I think we should really go to the hospital on this one. And he's like, no, we can just go to the pharmacist and let him
Get a
have look at
plaster,
it and, see what he says. So now we go to the pharmacy, and again, small town, they only open at 9.
So
and
we're
this was
waiting
like
outside
early
the
in the
pharmacy.
morning. So now we're sitting in the car. He's got like the toilet paper, but it's bleeding through. And we're sitting there, and now the pain kicks in. And it's like throbbing. And
yeah.
so eventually we go in, we see the pharmacist. And he's like, yeah, you can bandage it up and keep it like clean and dry.
Because I tell the pharmacy I don't want to, or the pharmacist I don't want to fucking.
Because he's like, if you go to the hospital, they're gonna have to take the nail off to put in stitches and stuff. And he said, but you might want to go anyway to get like a tetanus injection because it's old, dirty metal tools and stuff. So in the end, we did end up going to the hospital. They took x-rays and luckily the bone wasn't
was
like
fine.
shattered or anything. So it was fine. It was just like a flesh wound basically.
Thank God, yeah.
And they said stitches weren't necessary because again, then they're going to have to take off the nail and everything. So
And
we
again,
had
my
to...
superpower, like my finger grew back beautifully.
Was
There's still a little gap there.
My finger grew back.
It's beautiful. No, literally, my finger grew back.
Got me a honey.
I
because
do have.
yeah, it was
I'm
literally
Spider-Man.
like a split V. So I had to like keep it together with the bandages and
And look
stuff.
at that proper finger.
Yeah,
Like the even
Proper
the
finger.
nail was split in half. So
I'm digging
That's
my
wild.
nose with this thing.
so yeah, no, I
You
Scratching
should have
my
lost
ass.
a lot of body parts by now.
Yeah. Yeah, no,
Oh,
somebody's
strong.
up there fucking
Someone's
we
keeping an eye out.
we've
Yeah.
had the whole
What finger was it?
Oh, this
pointer finger.
And it's your right hand, isn't it?
Yeah, that's my fucking.
Yes.
That's the one you need.
That's the one you need. That's a wife's favorite finger right there, bro.
So yeah, we had to like, and because he worked in the ATMs, it was really difficult because now he's got this thick bandage on it, and,
And
he can't
literally
really
the
work.
next day after this happened, I had a bandage like this. I had to call out.
Yeah.
I had to go dig, and I just had to learn to work with the other fingers. That was it.
Yeah, no, so we've had our fair share of injuries and nursing and learning how to deal with emergencies and stuff. So
That injection,
Oh,
it's
yeah.
like that burns like a motherfucker.
I'm so bad with like stuff like that. When I was in third year, I had to do a first aid course, and we're literally learning about what to do with a severed limb. And I was like, "That's all very well,
I'm not gonna
but
do
if
that.
I see somebody's
In practice.
limb, I'm
Oh.
just gonna probably faint and
Yeah.
then wake up and vomit and faint again." So like, I don't think I'd be able to think.
You have gotten better though.
Nice.
You've gotten better with injuries, I must say.
I'm okay with
But-
like blood, and even if I see like a severed limb or something, I think I'll be okay. The only thing that really gets me is if bone is sticking out.
Ugh.
You know, like if somebody breaks a leg and like the bone is poking
Mm.
out. Oh, I can't do that.
Yeah, it never really gets people on site. It's normally like after. It's like the psychological effect, because you'll see it where it like
I'm good with that.
sticks.
For me, it's poop.
Oh yeah,
Poop
vomit.
gets to me.
Vomit and
The vomit I can take. Poop.
I can't do vomit. I remember Duncan and I were like horrifically sick in Vietnam with stomach bug. And he was so sweet, taking care of me, taking my bucket, cleaning it out. Then he got it a few days after me, and I was like, let me try and return the favor. And I picked up his bucket. I was like, oh, I can't do it. I'm still like queasy from
Wheezy.
this. And I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I can't do it.
Don't worry, bro. It's all right.
Yeah, no, I'm good with vomit and poo and everything else. It's just bone sticking through something. I can't do that.
Yeah. So lovely topics this evening.
Yeah,
How
lovely
we
topics.
pushed ourselves
Yeah.
and
Got a willy stuck in a fan.
some fun
Well,
times,
that
some
happens.
Made injuries.
Embarrassing moments.
Yeah.
some run into the toilet, some skid marks.
Yeah. So
Yeah, but
Hey,
we're
all
reaching
here to
our
tell
end.
the tale.
Yeah,
Mm.
yeah. So it was all nice catching up and having a good chat, and we'll definitely do it again the same time next week.
yeah. Catch jokes at the next one. Shot for the couples edition.
Cheerio.
Cheerio.
You boy.
Sees ya.
Just let me fucking crack this thing up.
Yes,
I've been ripping onto that all night.
Leaning on a Friday, it's a friendship. You gotta crack another can and do a backflip. Take a trip as I'm sipping, get a good grip. We're talking life, strife, and think about the good times. When you fall from home, it can be non-stop. Or crack another can and let the bumping beat drop. At the Great Wall of China or a bus stop. Grab a can, curb, and think about the good times.